You make your loan payment every month, right on time to the same bank you started with, or so you think. Here's the strange part. The company collecting your money may have nothing to do with the company that gave you the loan. Your mortgage, your car loan, your student debt, even that old credit card balance, each one can be bought and sold like a product. And the moment you signed, your debt stopped being just a bill. It quietly became something someone else could own. So who actually owns your debt today, and who profits from every payment you make? Let's follow the money. Start with the obvious assumption. You borrow from a bank, you pay back the bank keeps the interest. Simple. That picture is mostly a myth. For many loans, the bank never planned to hold your debt for the full term at all. To understand why, you have to see what your loan really is from the bank's point of view. It is not a favor, it is inventory. When you borrow, the bank hands over real cash today in exchange for a promise of payments later. That promise has a market value. And here is the catch. A bank only has so much cash. Every loan it makes ties that cash up for years, sometimes decades. So banks found a clever move. Instead of waiting 30 years to collect, they sell your loan to someone else for cash right now. The bank gets its money back immediately, then turns around and lends it out all over again. The cycle never stops. This is so normal that most home loans in America do not stay with the lender who created them. In the United States, more than half of all mortgage debt has been packaged and sold to investors rather than held by a single bank. Often you only find out when a letter arrives saying your loan now has a new servicer. Same payment, brand new owner. Now the story gets bigger, because once your loan can be sold, it can also be bundled with thousands of others. This bundling has a name that sounds intimidating but is actually simple. It is called securitization. Picture a bank gathering 5,000 car loans into one giant pool. On their own, each loan is small and risky. But pooled together, the steady stream of monthly payments becomes predictable. And predictable income is exactly what investors crave. The pool is then sliced into shares and sold to investors as a bond. Your monthly payment becomes their interest check. These bundles have initials you may have heard during the 2008 crisis: mortgage-backed securities. Back then, banks bundled risky home loans, stamped them as safe, and sold them worldwide. When borrowers stopped paying, the whole tower wobbled. The lesson stuck, but the machine never stopped. Today, trillions of dollars in loans are still bundled and traded every single year. It is not just mortgages either. Car loans, credit card balances, and student debt all get pooled and sold the same way. So when you pay your car note, a slice of that cash may quietly travel to a pension fund halfway across the country. That is the polished, high finance side of debt. But there is a second world, and it only wakes up when you fall behind. When you stop paying long enough, the lender often gives up trying to collect. But your debt does not just disappear. Instead, they sell it for pennies on the dollar to a company whose entire business is chasing old, defaulted debt. These companies are called debt buyers, and the prices they pay are shockingly low. A debt buyer might purchase a $1,000 unpaid balance for as little as 4 cents on the dollar. But here is the twist. Even though they paid almost nothing, they can still try to collect the full original amount from you. So if they buy your debt for $40 and collect even $200, that is a massive return on a single account. This is why collection calls can feel relentless. To a debt buyer, every dollar squeezed out of you is almost pure profit, and debt can be sold more than once. The same old balance may pass through 3, 4, even 5 different buyers over the years. With each sale, the paperwork gets thinner. Sometimes the buyer cannot even prove the debt is really yours. Now step back and look at the full picture. Your single monthly payment feeds a long line of people who are not your bank. The original lender already got paid when they sold your loan. They captured their profit and moved on years ago. The servicer takes a fee just for collecting and processing your payment each month. They simply run the machine. The investors who bought the bundle earn the interest. Your discipline in paying on time is literally their income stream. And if you ever stumble, a debt buyer is waiting to purchase your slip-up for cents and chase you for the whole sum. Your debt is not a quiet agreement between you and one lender. It is a product moving through an entire industry. None of this makes you a victim, but it does change how you should think about every loan you sign. So what can you actually do with this knowledge? More than you might expect. First, know that a new servicer cannot change your original terms. Your interest rate and balance stay exactly the same. Second, if a debt collector contacts you, you have the right to demand they prove the debt is yours in writing. Third, old debt eventually passes a legal time limit where it can no longer be enforced in court. Know your dates before you pay. And because debt buyers pay so little, settled amounts are often negotiable. The number on the letter is rarely the final word. The system runs on the hope that you never learn how it works. Now you do. and that quietly tilts the table back towards you. That is exactly what we do here. We hand you the cheat sheet to the money machine. This is Brainonomics.